What's up guys, this is jmoonies and welcome to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, The Domestic Warrior. Before you guys rip my head off about copying Maximilian, I just wanted to say that I'm a huge fan of his work, and if anything, the titling of this video is really just to draw attention to that. I am not good enough at Marvel vs. Capcom to really do an online Warrior series, but what I've realized by watching a lot of these fighting videos from Cross Counter TV and from Maximilian's YouTube channel is that it's not so much exciting to watch someone be amazingly good at this game as much as it is interesting to watch a balanced game. Like, really good matches. The Evo matches weren't amazing to watch because the players were only good, but it was because they were all most of them were pretty well matched, and it kind of, it gave you enough doubt as to who would actually win, which was pretty exciting. Now, most of you know me for my Blaze Blue videos, and that is primarily because Blaze Blue has this awesome replay feature that allows me to save, 10 of the 40 terrible matches that I have online and replay them at my convenience. Makes for easy recording, and I don't have to worry about the rage quitting or just filling up my hard drive with gigs and gigs of terrible matches. The thing that's difficult for me with Marvel vs. Capcom is that I have such an issue with running into so many rage quitters, so many bad connections, etc., that it's been really hard for me to get some good matches online. So instead I decided to put up a few local matches that I do with my roommate cameraman. We go a little overboard on this stuff. We play about at least 50 matches every time we do sets. On multiple occasions we hit about the 100 mark and stay pretty even, but in case you haven't seen my Marvel vs. Capcom video before, which for your sake I hope you haven't seen, my usual team consists of Hulk, Zero, and Ryu, and that is mainly because it's the most online friendly team I've had. With all the Wolverine dive kickers and Dante teleporters, Hulk has been great for that forward C with the super armor. So as a result, I've kind of gotten good with those characters exclusively. Recently I started experimenting with X-23 thanks to Maximilian's tutorial, which has worked out pretty well, but I find that the latency issue online prevents me from really using her effectively. By now, I'm sure you would have noticed I'm on one player side, cameraman's on two player side, and the interesting thing, I guess, about the way we play is we both take very drastically different approaches to how we fight. I'm more of the rushdown player, whereas cameraman plays, I'm tempted to say, very cowardly, which, I mean, as much as I'd hate to admit it, it is totally a legit way to play, at least in Marvel vs. Capcom. He always jumps backwards, and the excruciatingly frustrating part about our matches is that if I don't go towards him, he'll just fireball spam me, and at that rate, I'll just lose my time. So I have no choice to go forward, and him knowing that allows him to come up with counter strategies. The funny thing about Cameraman is if you put him online against another player who plays defensively, he doesn't really know what to do because he's not used to having someone goad him into attacking. Wesker players, Phoenix players, Chris players, that kind of affair. Cameraman recently started experimenting with B-Team. He normally does Dormammu, Hagar, and Sentinel. Hagar for the invincible double lariat assist, which is the most frustrating thing in the world, but he's been using a lot of Deadpool, She-Hulk, and Tron lately, which, if he didn't have Deadpool, I would be alright with it, but, playing against someone like that really gives you the practice you need to go online, because so many people play like this, and God, I hate them so much. Watching my gameplay, I've kind of realized another couple differences. Cameraman tends to use his assists, the invincible assists, to really break my flow. And one of the problems with my kind of playstyle, I'm really bad at multitasking, so I'm not very good at calling in assists to cover my Russians. Like, for instance, with X23, if I had a beam type character, it would be a lot easier for me to do mix-ups, but, you know, I use Ryu and I use Zero, and, you know, their single hit assists kind of suck, so I can't really rely on that as a strategy. Additionally, it's really hard for me to sub out those characters just for the sake of having an assist character. The one thing I am happy with as far as my loadout goes is that all my characters have really good DHC synergy, which, you know, allows me to do, you know, triple hyper combo chains most of the time. You know, up to six with X Factor if that ever needs to happen, but, you know, such an instance is very unlikely. By far, though, my favorite character has to be Zero, though. It's kind of frustrating because his damage output is so low, even though he does so many hits. But I find that he's definitely a really good pressure character because of that. Even though he doesn't do that much damage, it makes a lot of people nervous when he does that standing C, forward C, special, medium, C, medium, special. Oh god. So many freaking hits, which is awesome. And when he uses Sogenmu, I always go with the standing C, forward C, standing C, forward C, and get about like 20 hits in. Problem is, though, he's made of glass. Like, almost one Sentinel, you know, if you DHC into a Sentinel combo, he's dead. Like, that freaking Rocket Punch Hyper Sentinel Force bullshit always makes him pretty much useless. It's kind of like, it's definitely a lot of psychological pressure on both sides, because he's worried about getting hit with all that agility, and I'm more concerned with getting hit once, because once he gets that Sentinel combo in, I'm pretty much screwed. But yeah, I'm actually in the middle of playing all of the Mega Man X games. I recently got the Mega Man X Collection, I think it's called, for PS2. And I've been on this crazy mission of tracking down every one of Zero's moves from his game. You know, and since they're all named exactly as they are in the previous iterations, it's easy to find them. The problem is just getting through all of them. Like, they've literally taken moves from Mega Man X4 all the way until Mega Man X8, and I plan to eventually get a montage out and even compare all his normal moves to those from the previous X games. So, who knows, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to get that one out in the next month, but it's a tough deal for me. I'm going to have to say that I'm going to be pretty busy for a while because I've been writing a story and getting all that X gameplay, but yeah, you can only play so much freaking Mega Man X at a time. Maybe if I was still 13, I'd blow through it like in an hour, but I just don't have the patience for that kind of gameplay anymore. So, on the topic of Ultimate Marvel, I'd have to say the thing that makes me most excited about it is that it will actually force people to change up their tactics. No more DHC glitch, but also there will be more characters, and maybe for once when I'm playing online, I won't run into the freaking Wesker, Akuma, freaking Wolverine combo, or the Sentinel, Akuma, Dante combo, or any iteration of those characters. I'm actually kind of looking forward to trying out Iron Fist. I'm not a huge fan of his voice, that Spirit of the Dragon thing, but I do like the notion of a character who doesn't do like a million hits, but, you know, makes a really solid small number of hits. Virgil, kind of cool, but a little too much like Dante for me to appreciate, but I'm sure most of you guys are excited about Phoenix Wright, which I am really interested in see what they're gonna do with that. I've been playing through the previous Phoenix Wright games as well, just to get myself familiarized. But I guess we'll see in the next coming months when those reveal trailers come out. I'm sure Maximilian will have a pretty in-depth analysis for us as well. I'm also looking forward to X Factor being nerfed, because as much as I end up relying on it for a comeback tool, it's definitely too much. Level 3 X Factor. If anything, X Factor I feel like slows down the game a lot. Like the only people it really helps are Phoenix players, but like when someone activates X Factor, all the other guy does is jump backwards, and it's like the most stupidest thing ever. But yeah, we'll see. November, I guess it is. If anyone wants to challenge me, definitely drop me a line. In case you haven't noticed, I'm a PlayStation 3 player, so probably won't be running into a lot of American players when the game comes out, unfortunately. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Thank you, Maximilian, for cluing me in on that invincibility for Weapon X Prime. Now this one's a really hard matchup. Hulk versus Deadpool. As I've mentioned before, the keep away game is quite excellent for him, seeing as how Hulk's hitbox is huge. The best way I found to combat this is that, well, Hulk can super jump. Eventually, Deadpool will be forced into a corner, and for some reason I find that it's really easy just to do normal grabs with Hulk. Eventually that damage adds up. I find a good strategy to use against keep away characters is really, if you have a fireball character, go ahead and spam it against him too. As long as you get the first hit in, they'll usually be able to spam it before they can. So yeah. On my hunt for Zero's special moves, I've actually been wondering, does anyone know if Zero actually has any kind of kick animation? I've been thinking maybe his kick off the wall, but it might be a bit too much of a stretch for this compilation video I'm doing. I found basically all of his specials and all of his mediums, and yeah, the kick moves elude me. Maybe they're just originals meant for Marvel vs. Capcom. Freaking Air Dash Tron is so hard to protect. I have to say the greatest tool in my arsenal has been Ryu's helicopter kick. Probably the best method of transportation, but also the best cancelable ability as well. This part was really weird because usually the command grab can override everything. The level 3 command grab for Tron or for Hagar. If you notice here, I use Rick Kulha, and I guess his downwards kneel lowers his hitbox to like a squatting position. So I guess that must be how I dodged that. But as with most of the games between me and Cameraman, this one has ended in timeout, which, ugh, God. Yeah, looks like the gameplay is coming to a close. Thought I'd include a bonus clip here of a weird glitch I had with Sunday Driver. Have a good one, guys.